6 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. It's Mark Klein. Welcome to another Long Island Blues Warehouse every Sunday night from 8 till 10 Eastern Standard Time. Here's where you're going to find us, hanging out, bringing you the best of the blues. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9, we do it all again with the Encore Show. And, of course, you always want to check that out at liblues.com. This week's featured artist in the studio with us right now from Aberdeen, Scotland, little fishing port, if I'm not mistaken, way up north, Mr. Finlay Morton. How are you, Finlay?
I'm good, thank you.
Did I say that right, Aberdeen?
Aberdeen, yeah, it's close.
Is that a little fishing town?
It's a kind of fishing port, and it's kind of the headquarters of all the oil exploration that does from the North Sea.
Very cool. We'll have to talk more about that in a little bit. I say we introduce Long Island and all of the world to Finlay Morton immediately, and then we're going to come back and chat with you fine musicians. What are we doing first, Finlay?
Okay, this is a track off my 2010 album, which is Back to Basics. This is called The Devil Ain't Getting My Soul.
Blues Warehouse. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Finlay Morton. Finlay, nicely done, my man.
Thank you.
Coming out of the gate strong, if I may say.
Thank you.
You've got on your website, which we're going to plug later. Let's plug it now. It's finlaymorton.com.
Yep.
FINLAYMORTON. You've got some great videos up there.
Yeah, thank you. There's the video for that one and the video for the next song are both on my website.
Very cool. I want to start with some history with you regards to growing up into being the fine musician you are today. Let's talk about when you began. You started on the guitar at a young age?
My older brother played, and he had an old Epiphone acoustic that he used to do a load of finger picking on and playing old folk songs and Bob Dylan things. So I taught myself to play from that one. So.
He was the influence for you, your brother?
Yeah, I mean, if my brother didn't have a guitar, I wouldn't have picked one up. So, yeah.
At least you wouldn't have started at that young age.
Absolutely.
Who's to say if you wouldn't have? You started at what, age 10, was it?
Yeah.
All right.
It was about
And
10.
what kind of music are you listening to in the house at that age?
Well, with two older brothers, you tended to listen to,
What they're into?
what they're into.
Which
so-
was what at the time?
Which would have been, the Rolling Stones, some Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, together with some. I mean, I also listened to a whole bunch of the old blues guys, Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, and.
Those guys grabbed you early, huh?
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and it's good to know where the music comes from. I think that's something that people kind of miss today is the history of what they're playing. And
A lot certainly do.
Yeah.
A lot certainly do. But some like to pay attention to the history and learn it. I trust that was something that you enjoyed doing as you were
Yeah.
growing up into the blues.
Absolutely.
Very nice, my man. Very nice. We got a lot to do in a short period of time, so I say we keep it moving. Let's jump into another tune. We'll come back and chat more and learn more about the Finlay Morton journey. What are we doing next, Finlay?
Okay, this is the other track we're going to play for you tonight from my 2010 album. This one's called "Scary Monsters."
Let's do it.
Reflective green paves the way for my intentions to the places where the water flows. What does it mean? Requiring more investigation. What the answer is, nobody knows. Selfish whispers pass me by on my way back home. Childish mischief makes me cry. Don't wanna be alone. Scary monsters, they're coming to get me. Yeah. Scary monsters, they're coming to get me. Yeah. Deceptive sheen slowly slithers through the darkness in the caves where no one ever goes. It's quite obscene down the pathways through the alleys. People hear it on their radios. Childish mischief makes me cry on my way back home. Selfish whispers make
Oh, yeah. Very nice. This week's featured artist, Finlay Morton. Nicely done, Finlay. Finlay, so at age 18, you packed your bags.
Yeah.
You moved.
Yep.
Where'd you head to?
I headed down south to London, which is basically the only option you've got if you want to try and make it in the music business in the UK. You've got to be based in London, really.
So you pack up your bags, you take your guitar, head down to London.
Yeah.
And what takes place for you? I mean, do you have contacts waiting for you down there? Do you just show up like people do to New York or to LA with a suitcase and a guitar in hand? Let's talk about that first day.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of us, all just kind of threw our stuff in the van and moved. And we tried real hard, and tried to get some shows. We played a few gigs, and then, there's only so much time you can live on nothing.
Do you remember your first gig in London?
Yeah, it was at Dingwalls, which is
Say it again.
Dingwalls, which is quite a famous club in Camden in North London.
Does it still exist today?
Yeah, still there.
All right,
yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So you're that struggling musician at age 18,
yeah.
Living in a van.
Well, no, living. There was three of us sharing a hotel room in Paddington.
All right, very nice.
Yeah.
Doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches type of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
How long did that take place before things start getting busier and growing?
Well, basically that just didn't work at all. We did it for about 2 years and just didn't get anywhere really. It was just
2 years trying to cut your teeth in London. Didn't pan out.
No, it didn't pan out. So it's kind of get a real job time.
Which was what for you at the time?
I started off working just kind of washing up in restaurants.
All right. Worst things have happened, my man.
Oh yeah.
Worst things have happened.
Got to pay the bills.
That's what the rumor is. That's what the rumor is. So 2 years of this sort of thing. What takes place next for you? What?
Well, I managed to get some because I've been working with sound equipment and stuff for ages. We've been in the band. I got a job as a sound engineer, just on a freelance basis.
Now, so people can understand what you said. You didn't say sand, S-A-N-D engineer. No. You said, if I'm not mistaken, sound.
Sound, yeah, yeah.
Just wanted to clear that up for people at home. So you become the sound engineer for a prestigious company.
Yeah, it's we do all the kind of government work for the Prime Minister's office in the UK. So.
Which gave you a bit of traveling, if I'm not mistaken, around the world.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if there's too many countries I haven't been to. So, but only for like a day, or you kind of fly in, do a conference, fly back out again. But.
Now I don't want to get too political. We're about the music, obviously, but that job took you into war zones.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did.
You've seen some pretty ugly things.
Yeah, Bosnia and well, we would pronounce it Kosovo. You would say Kosovo. So,
I'm not sure we'd say either, but okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we were flying around in U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopters.
Black Hawk.
And, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You've seen some.
I've seen some real.
Without getting
stuff.
too graphic, you've seen some pretty graphic things, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right. Enough said on that. We've all seen the news. We've all seen the movies, and you've pretty much lived that firsthand.
Well, I was nowhere near. I mean, we'd been shot at and we've been, tear gassed and we've had missile locks.
You've experienced that as well.
Yeah, but nothing like what the people out there are experiencing now. So,
thank God. Thank God. Let's get back to the music journey for Finlay Morton. Let's talk about after that 2-year stint in London. What direction did you head into musically at this point?
Well, I basically had no musical connections at all for probably about 10 years. I didn't do anything. And then in 2004, a friend of mine introduced me to a guy called Pip Williams, who, for folks who don't know, he produced most of Status Quo's records and most
big UK band, sure.
Yeah, and most of the Moody Blues albums as well. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So you're basically on a 10-year hiatus before this?
Yeah, didn't do anything.
Were you writing? Were you?
No.
You just put it down completely for that period.
I just because I was traveling so much and
you didn't have time.
Didn't have time. Yeah.
All right. It happens. It happens. 10 years later, you decide to get back into the music industry. What got you involved 10 years later? What made you decide it's time again?
Well, I was in my kind of regular bar in South London, and
Called
The Bedford.
The Bedford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is in Balham.
I've got family there. I'm gonna have to ask them about that.
There you go. It's a real good music pub. So there was a guy there playing real bad cover versions in the bar, and I thought, hey, I can do better than that. So I went and bought a guitar, and suddenly all the experiences of the past few years started just sort of coming out. And when I met Pip, he said, well, hey, why don't we go and record some of this stuff? So
that's what you did.
That's what we did.
And that's where you're at today. I'm glad to hear that, my man. Listen, better late than never. I'm sorry you had that 10-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Lord knows what kind of material you could have under your belt at this point if you stuck that out. But the main thing is you got that foot back on the path. You're back to it. And I say we do the same right now. Okay. What are we doing next?
Okay, well, we've got an album coming out towards the end of March, so I'll give you a bit of a preview of that. This is the new one. And this is the title track from it. This is called Harvest the Wind.
Before we do, the lovely Kim and Rietta to your left on the other side of the stage, way, way, way too far away from me. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
The heart and soul and the brains of the operation, can I assume?
Well, I'm blonde, so no.
I don't get it. Kim, what do you have to say about that?
Nothing, because I'm not blonde and I don't want to go there.
Well, you two are absolutely lovely, and you make a great contribution to this project. We're gonna come back and chat with you, lovely lady, shortly. Finlay, I just had to get a quick hello into them. I'm glad I did. We will talk more with the lovely bandmates shortly, but I say we keep it moving. Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're gonna keep it moving with Finlay Morton.
Okay, here we go. Does the future hold? Nobody knows. We bury our waste in the ground. Oh, one thing I'm certain, from my head to my toes, an alternative has to be found. Together, united we'll stand. Reclaim our dignity throughout the land. So hoist up your solar sails, harvest the wind. Our path to tomorrow is true. If there's gonna be anything left at the end, the first step's dependent on you. Pollution in LA, smog in New York, coast to coast poisonous fumes. We'll be safe in the mountains, on the national parks, while politics burns in the ruins. Together, united we'll stand. We'll reclaim our dignity throughout the land. So hoist up your solar sails, harvest the wind. Our path to tomorrow is true. If there's gonna be anything left at the end, the first step's dependent on you. While tidal waves batter our shores, the islands are sinking, the ozone's all gone, in the heavens the acid rain pours. Together, united we'll stand. We'll reclaim So hoist up your solar sails, harvest the wind. Our path to tomorrow is true. If there's gonna be anything left to defend, the first step's dependent on you. So hoist up your solar sails, harvest the wind. Hoist up your solar sails, harvest the wind.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
This week's featured artist on the Blues Warehouse, Finlay Morton. Nicely done, Finlay. Hey, I got a great idea, by the way, for the next album cover.
Okay.
You standing where you are,
Yeah.
Kim Chandler immediately to your left,
Yeah.
the lovely Rietta Austin immediately to your right. You need one here.
Yeah.
You need the other one here.
Yeah.
Maybe you step back and squat down. Maybe get out of the picture
Get
altogether.
behind the drum kit. maybe.
Possibly,
Yeah, yeah.
possibly. It's food for thought.
Yeah, it's good.
It's food for thought. Just an idea. Ladies, it's so nice to see you.
Thank you.
The heart and soul and the brains of the operation, if you ask me.
So you said before.
What do you think, Rietta?
I'm going to pay you later. Yeah.
For what?
For saying those
For
things.
calling it like I see it?
Do you need glasses?
Kim, I'd like to start with you if I can. Let's talk about some history in regards to the lovely vocal on you.
Yes.
Did you start as a young lady yourself?
I'm still a young lady. Thank you very much.
I mean a very, very young lady
Yes,
like this?
I did. Yes, apparently my parents tell me that they heard me singing harmonies to TV adverts when I was 3, along to the telly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty young.
Did you do any school performances?
Unfortunately, all that, yes. School choirs, musicals, played in the school band, etc., etc.
Please share with us where you're from, by the way.
Australia.
You're from Australia. What
Yeah.
part? What part?
I was actually born in Sydney, grew up in northern New South Wales, and then moved to Brisbane. But I now live in London.
How long have you been in London?
12 years.
It's been
Got a
12
British
years.
passport and everything now.
God bless.
Yeah,
God bless.
thank you.
A real funny coincidence I want to share while I have you. We
Good.
talked about a cousin of mine in England, a drummer named Paul Elliott. You have a friend of yours in England, one of your best friends you mentioned,
Yes.
named Paul Elliott.
Yes, who's also a drummer.
Not the same person.
Not the
though.
same person.
What-
Unbelievable.
What are the odds on that?
I think is about as good as this lottery that's going today.
The big lottery. This
Did
week,
right?
right?
win it? Has it happened?
It hasn't aired yet.
Oh,
But I've got my tickets and we'll see what happens.
Yes.
So hello to the two Paul Elliots in London.
Yes.
We'll have to
Hi,
do
Paul.
that. Rietta, let's talk with you for a second if we can. I'd like to ask you when you began musically. When did you
Ooh.
start singing?
When I was about 3.
You started at a young age as well.
Yeah. 13 years ago.
Commercial jingles on TV as well, type of thing?
Lots of jingles. My mum was a singer. Actually, she lived in New York for a while.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then moved to LA, and that sort of inspired me to sing. And then she lived in London for a while too, so she's back in New Zealand now.
Very nice, very nice. We're going to come back and talk about history with you two lovely ladies in terms of what you were doing before Finlay. We'll get into a little bit later, but I wanted to get a quick hello into the two of you, and I'm glad we did. So let me say this.
Dangerous.
Hello again. Finlay? Yeah. Great vocal section, my man.
Oh, yeah.
Great vocal section.
Oh, yeah.
How did you find these two to perform with you?
They were introduced to me by Pip, actually. Pip Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And Kim sang on my first record, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second.
And the second.
And the second.
As did Rietta.
As did Rietta.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's do another one. What are we doing next?
Okay, this is the current single that we've just literally sent this out to radio stations. So hopefully they'll play it. This is called "Chasing the American Dream," and it's about some of the more crazy things I saw in LA when I was there last year.
You good to go?
Yeah.
Long Island Blues Warehouse once again. This is Finlay Morton.
You got coats for dogs. You got designer frocks. You got your custom wheel You got 8-lane highways. You got pollution haze. You got the TV shows. You got that guy who knows. Sing along to your favorite song. Hey, won't you please turn the radio on? Baby, when you taste it, you'll know what I mean. We're all getting wasted, chasing the American dream. American dream. Taste it, you know what I mean. We're all getting wasted, chasing the American dream. You got the NBA, you got Independence Day, you got some real nice wine, but you got too much gun crime. You got a pink Cadillac. Hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger's back. Dude, please turn the radio on. The DJ's playing my favorite song. Baby, when you taste it, you know what I mean. We're all getting wasted, chasing the American dream. Baby, when you taste it, you know what I mean. We're all getting wasted, chasing the American dream.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Finlay Morton. Nicely done, Finlay.
Thank you.
Finlay, a question I get asked a lot each week. I'll get a fair amount of emails. Young musicians, late teens, early 20s, always appreciate learning how each artist, how the thought process works for them in terms of writing tunes. Let's discuss that with you a little bit. Are you one of those guys that can say, like on a Saturday night, I'm going to sit down Monday or Tuesday and write some songs? I didn't think so, but some people, that's the way it works. Something that influences you, you're driving, you're in the plane. How do you go about writing tunes?
This is a perfectly honest answer and not designed to be kind of evasive, but every single one's different.
Very evasive.
Yeah. I mean, it might just come from, somebody will say something to me and I'll think, oh, that's, that almost sounds like a line for a song. Or I might see something and think, that's ridiculous, that makes me angry, or that, makes me sad, or... and they come kind of a line at a time, and then suddenly it'll just all come out. Yeah.
All right. Like when you want to write an album, like when you want to put an album together at a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Let's say you're putting 10 or 12 songs on a CD.
Yeah.
Can you do it in 5-6 months? Will it take you a couple of years? How long does it take for you to put an average CD together?
The current album, from the time I started writing the songs until we actually pressed the CD, was about 5 months.
All right, that's not too bad.
So
10 or 12 songs on the CD?
I think there are 11.
About 11.
Yeah.
All right, and that's not bad. That's not bad. Some artists, it'll take them a couple of years. Some can put it together in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it blows my mind, but that's a common question, and I know people are going to be curious tonight how that works for you. Do you record, other than what we're doing tonight, obviously, live? Do you ever put an album out from a live show, perhaps something you do in London or another part of the world?
No, I haven't done any live stuff.
It's always studio session work.
Yeah, it's studio stuff, but the studio stuff is quite live. I mean, obviously.
No overdubs, no.
Well, there are overdubs.
We're no overdubs tonight.
No overdubs tonight. No, I kind of like doing it like this. It's nice.
You know what? A lot of musicians in the beginning, I'm fine, don't. But after they do this, they find it's a fresh new thing for them.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and they just enjoy what we get out of here. Once in a while, a musician will make a flub, make a mistake, but it's a live show. It's a live show, so that's what we like to push. We like to push that live thing, and they say you make a mistake, turn it into a riff. In the studio, it could be 30 takes on something if you don't like the way something goes down. But it's different for a lot of people, so I needed to ask you that. Are you working on new material now for upcoming projects?
I've got 2 or 3 sort of things on the back burner, I guess. Just little ideas and snatches of things. So we'll see how that develops.
All right. And when you record, do you record with the musicians currently on the stage with us right now?
Yeah.
New things you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you? We're going to talk to these musicians the second hour, but how did you come about finding these cats on the stage tonight?
They're just sort of introductions of friends of friends of friends. Rob on bass is very kindly filling in. So because John Noyce, who actually played on the album, couldn't make this trip. So thanks, man.
Good to see you, Rob Lucas. What about the rest of these fellas?
The rest of the guys, they all
been with you for a while.
All played on the last 2 albums. So.
Very nice, very nice, and they'll be with you for many more to come. I hope.
I hope so.
It's a great dynamic in here.
Absolutely.
We got a great thing going on. This beautiful folk, rock, bluesy thing. You got this J.J. Cale, Bob Dylan thing going on, as I'm sure you've heard in the past, and it's working beautifully.
Thank you.
It's working beautifully. You got a great dynamic about you with this project, and I say we keep it moving. Let's get into another tune. We got time for probably 2 more this hour before we take a little break.
Okay.
What are we doing next?
Okay, this is a question for all your listeners. Do you believe in ghosts?
I'm sorry, do you believe in what?
Ghosts. Ghosties.
Got it. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Drummer. Count it off again, please. Blues Warehouse. Here we go.
Just outside of my field of vision, I sense a flicker of light and a smile. I wonder how mentally sound my condition. Can I keep this thing in check for a while? Was it a trick of the light? Did I imagine a temperature drop on the darkest night? Does the underworld come out on top? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you think that silhouettes have a soul? You know what scares me most? It's the thought that I may never know. Do you believe in ghosts? Can you see the spirits in the air, flying in their long-tailed coats? They're laughing at the world that doesn't care. In the dead of night, I awaken. A figure stands at the end of my bed. I admit to being visibly shaken. Does this thing get all in my head? Was it a trick of the light? Did I imagine a temperature drop on the darkest night? Does the underworld come out on top?
yeah. This week's featured artist, Finlay Morton. Love the name, by the way, Finlay.
Thank you.
Nicely done, my man. Nicely done. Being in New York this week, doing this show with me, you've got a New York City gig. You've got a upstate New York thing happening, back
Yep.
to Long Island, a couple nice New York dates.
Yeah.
What's happening for you after that?
Then, we go home Sunday. And then
Back to London?
back to London, and we're looking at sorting out a sort of longer tour here. Probably in April, we're looking at doing maybe 3 or 4 weeks on the road.
Back to the States?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Where are you looking to do? West Coast, maybe?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. You talked about L.A. a little bit. You had some time on the West Coast?
Yeah, we did at the end of 2009. Myself and Greg, the guitar player, we did a sort of acoustic tour we did kind of the Northwest and the Rockies, and then we came down to New Mexico, and then went back up and ended up in Jackson Hole, Montana. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Plans on going back out there again in the future?
Yeah, we're going to try and do all over, and we're looking at some opportunities to hook up with some other artists as well. So.
Anybody we might know?
Well, it's none of this is confirmed yet, but we have been talking about doing stuff with Dave Mason, who's from Traffic.
Sure. Very
which would be
nice.
kinda cool.
That'd be fun. Be fun. Have you been in other parts of the U.S. other than New York and L.A. area?
Yeah, I mean that tour took us through. We went to Portland and then over to Spokane and Washington and then Idaho and. Been all over. Sorry, if my geography's not great.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You talked about with the old sound engineering job that took you through most countries of the world.
Yeah.
Having visited most of the world, where would be a few places you'd like to perhaps perform one day?
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Have you got a couple in mind? You might.
I'd really love to take this kind of music to Japan because they really love their rock over there. So.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
The folk, the rock, the bluesy thing that you got going would be huge. That'd be a huge
Yeah.
market for you over there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That'd be lovely. But actually, people don't realize Japan is the biggest. It's the second biggest market in the world after the U.S.
That's a fact.
So, yeah,
That's a fact.
Which is amazing. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Any other countries you'd like to see yourself performing in down the road?
Sure. Well, I'd like to go to
Australia?
these ladies' homelands, so Australia, New Zealand.
You'll need someone to introduce you in those parts of the world when you take those stages. So
Sure.
you'll have to keep me in mind for that, of course.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I want to.
I'm sure we can sneak you in.
We talked about it earlier. Let's talk about it again. I'm going to ask you to push the website so people can follow Finlay Morton and see what you're doing in the future.
Okay, well, it's. I'm on Facebook and MySpace, so you can look those up. They're both under my name, Finlay Morton. But
Let's spell it out again for them, please.
FINLAYMORTON.
Now that people have grabbed a pen, now that you've already said it, now people have a pen in their hand.
Okay, so it's www.finlaymorton.com.
Finlay, FINLAYMORTON.com.
Yeah.
They can follow you. You got some great videos up there. You put the upcoming dates and things that you do on a regular basis, I trust?
Yeah, that gets updated at least once a week. So.
Very nice, very nice. Will you be performing in London? We've got a fair amount of musician listeners in England, in Scotland, a little bit of Italy and Ireland, I understand.
Oh, cool.
Any upcoming dates in that neck of the?
I haven't got anything finalised now, but
working on it.
Yeah, keep an eye on the website. There's a live dates page there. So.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Finlay Morton, we really appreciate you doing what you do.
Thank you.
You make a great contribution to this show that we do in here every week. We have time for one more hour one, and then we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
What are we going to do next?
Okay. This is also on the new album, Harvest the Wind, and this is one of those songs that came from something that somebody said to me one day. So this is called I'd Rather Be.
Sounds good. One more time, hour one on the Blues Warehouse. Finlay Morton.
rather be at home today, traveling. And I'd rather be together than unraveling. I can't make up my mind if it's you or me. It wishes everything could be the way it used to be. Can't make up my mind if it's you or me. I'd rather be, I'd rather be, I'd rather be drunk today than sober. I'd rather it was happening than it's over. Rather catch the bus than have to walk it. And I'd rather break the door down than unlock it. I can't make up my mind if it's you or me. It wishes everything could be the way it used to be. Can't make up my mind if it's you or me. I'd rather be, I'd rather be, I'd rather be. If we were free to choose, we all make plans and understand sometimes you gotta lose. I'd rather be St. George than be the dragon. I'd rather have all four wheels on my wagon. I'd rather not be a shoulder to cry on. And I'd rather be a friend you can rely on. I can't make up my mind if it's you or me. It wishes everything could be the way it used to be. Can't make up my mind if it's you or me. I'd rather be, I'd rather be, I'd rather be. I'd rather be, I'd rather be, I'd rather be. I'd rather be, I'd rather be, I'd rather be. I'd rather be, I'd rather be, I'd rather be.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Finlay Morton. Nicely done, Finlay. Keep it where you got it.